Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here at St. Peter's with all of you. COVID concerns and a massive flood delayed this memorial, but we always knew that it had to be here. Let me share just a little bit of history. My dad started coming to St. Peter's in the 1960s, the original neo-Gothic church that once sat here. Our family resumed going to St. Peter's in the late 70s here in the new modern church. And Dad worshiped here for 40 years. We have such great memories here, such as lighting of candles on Christmas Eve, watching the fresh flowers bloom on Easter, my brother and I performing in the Christmas pageant, or even Dad singing in the choir. Beyond these memories, religion, of course, played an important role throughout my father's life. We discussed how religion offered two key benefits: provides a strong, welcoming community, and helps us to answer those questions we don't have easy answers to. As Dad was a man who sat at the intersection of religion and science, and who felt it was important for him to find his place in the world, he agreed with that perspective. He loved the community that St. Peter's offered and the friendships he made here. And as we dug into questions that didn't have easy answers, we discussed questions like, where do we come from? Where do we go when we die? And how should we behave while we're here? St. Peter's provided a place where he could seek out those answers and find solace. He also loved St. Peter's because of the music. When the congregation was called on to sing a hymn, his voice was the loudest. When the service ended and the organist began the postlude, he would encourage me to sit and wait and listen, to have a moment with the music and with God. His love of music and culture extended beyond the walls of the church. For his whole life, he was curious about music, arts, and culture. His record collection held stacks of Bach and Beethoven and the Beatles. He would speak romantically about actors and actresses of the 30s and 40s, and about arias from operas as if he had just heard them yesterday. And he loved all kinds of art, frequenting museums and theaters to take in the latest of the day. He loved trying to teach me and my brother about the arts. One of my favorite stories was when he gave me my first lesson. My third grade teacher asked us to write a report about an artist, and I got assigned Edward Hopper, who I knew nothing about. When I arrived home and shared with my dad, his face lit up. I became worried. Given his interest in the topic, I knew it meant we would be doing a lot more work than I had wanted. That Saturday afternoon, we walked down to the Whitney and strolled the halls looking for Hopper. We came across one of his pieces, and my dad asked what I saw. It's some people, I deadpanned. Yes, but what else? It's dark. He sighed and said, but what do you feel? As a 9-year-old, I was so confused by this question. What the heck do you mean, what do I feel? I took a moment, pondered it just a bit, and then offered, they look sad, alone. He paused for a moment. His eyes widened. Yes, he exclaimed. An art critic I was not, but for that moment, my father was able to surface in me some deeper insight and appreciation. This was always his way, using the Socratic approach to challenge me and to dig deeper. Now, before you think that my vision of my dad was just a cross between a holy man and an arts aficionado, he also liked to enjoy himself. A favorite story of his and mine was when he was a grad student, taking the summer to travel the vineyards of France, riding to each vineyard by hand in advance, hoping to arrange a visit to taste their wines, fresh from the barrel. It was a lengthy trip, which he recounted in a 20-page letter to his mother, sharing the details of every stop along the way, one vineyard after another, culminating in a visit to Chateau d'Yquem, where he had their famous Sauterne. He loved describing his adventures and stories like this. Every trip he made was meticulously researched and charted out, and he'd get as much pleasure during his travels as he did after, replaying each detail with those that he loved, as if they too were there with him. In many ways, we were there with him, as he was always thinking of us. For every story like the ones I've shared today, there are dozens more that are untold, of his love for Franklin, or his love for his children and grandson, of his siblings and parents, or his friends in Florida and East Hampton, his passion for political discussion or the daily routine of swimming and reading the New York Times. No doubt you too have memories of him that overlap and intertwine with the ones I shared today. And while he has passed, my memories of him will live on. Your memories of him will live on. The lessons and the wonderful stories he shared will also live on. Find your community. Seek answers to the unknown. Challenge yourself to think harder. And share what you love with those you love. I feel so grateful to have had as much time with my father as I did. I love him dearly. We'll miss him deeply. And know that his presence will always be with me. Thank you for being here to celebrate his life.